Hey, you guys, welcome. I am so glad that it is the new year. And guess what? We've got new goals, right? Because with a
Yes.
new year, we get new goals, which is awesome. Woo woo. And I'm glad that you guys are joining us. So, for those of you who've already come on in and started joining us, please introduce who you are, where you from, what you tutor, all of that great stuff. You guys are not going to want to miss a second of what we've got planned for you today because we have ALoN David in the house and we have the 90X goal planner. Now, you guys, something that was cool, I was reading this about ALoN before we got started, and he was one of those people that was constantly looking for a planner. He wanted one that could give him a system that could help him grow and achieve his goals, and finding a planner that would give him the ability to not only achieve them, but also to plan his day, be able to write down any thoughts that he had. And he found blank planners, he found regular planners, he found to-do lists, goal planners, but he just couldn't find something that just did everything. He
That's
wanted a
right.
system that included all of this. And so he created his own. How awesome is that? And if you've been a part of our Jumpstart Masterclass, you've already dived deep into using this planner. You can see I already have mine halfway full here as I continue with my plans and have been using it. And so we are going to be today chatting with ALoN, and he's going to just be sharing more information that I know you are not going to want to miss. So thank you for joining us today, ALoN.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and being over here. And it's the first interview of the year. So I'm so excited about it too. But yeah, thank you so much for having me. And thank you for the intro.
Yeah, I know. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year to you and everybody else. But I can't see
everybody
anybody else. So
it.
you can see them. I can't see them. So
yeah, and in fact, I've got to like open on up my phone so that I can see them because I can't see them yet. So I'm going to just open it on up so that we are good to go and I can see who is in the house today. So we've got so far with us, we've got Suzanne Davis. Woo woo. Hey, Suzanne, so glad that you are here. She's excited. She has her 90X goal planner with her right now.
Perfect.
Kathy's in the house, and Laura. Laura is in Atlanta. She tutors algebra, geometry, trigonometry, and calculus. She's a maths girl, that's for sure.
It's already like hard for me right there. That's like, oh, too much information.
And we've got Jim Shelley here in the house. He tutors full stack software development. And we've got Lisa Vincino, who she helps with the praxis for future teachers. So I'm so glad that you guys have decided to join us. And if you have also joined us and you didn't get a chance to introduce yourself, definitely do that inside of here. And as you guys are listening to the conversation today, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them and I will throw them on in when it seems relevant and on point with where we're at in the conversation. Because nothing like totally going, AWOL and asking some weird question, right? That doesn't really fit the flow of the conversation. So if it fits, I'll throw it on in and we'll be able to answer your questions. So Thank you for joining us today, ALoN.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah. And I want to jump in and, you're part of my community, my 90X business community. That's where we have and help people grow their businesses. And something that I shared last week, and I'm not sure if you were there or not, but something that I shared last week is, everybody has goals and they wait for the new year, which is fine. I mean, if you guys wait for it and that you're one of those that just signs up for the gym and never show, like the whole thing, that's fine. But I encourage people. And the reason we created the planner undated, so there's no excuses. There's no days, there's no dates, so it's no excuses for you to get started. But I want to talk about maybe the 5 pillars of success that I talk about all the time and kind of encourage my people, which go hand in hand in the planner as well. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love that.
Okay, perfect. So the first thing that, I want to talk about is vision. A lot of people skip that part and we have, a vision board in there, which is nice for you to throw some things, but it's more about creating your vision. But more importantly is once you have that vision, and when I say vision is just what is your goal? What is the one thing that you want to achieve in the next year, in the next 90 days, in the next week? You got to have a vision. You got to have a vision of how it's going to look, how it's going to feel, how it's going to taste, how it's going to be around you, and then surround yourself with that vision, right? So, I mean, when I created the planner, I'm going to give you an example. When I created the planner, it was just an idea, right? It wasn't a physical product. And it could be a physical product. It could be a course. It could be an online thing. It doesn't matter. You still needs to have the vision first, because when you have the vision, then it's a lot easier to accomplish. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. But this is the one mistake that most people do. They create a vision, beautiful vision. They put pictures on the wall. They have a vision board. They're all excited, but they don't work from that vision. Okay. They work towards that vision. Okay. Big difference. Because if you can have a vision and then surround yourself with that person that you want to be, or the product that you want to create, and feel and be that person right now, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get to that goal. Does it make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So, and this is really step number one, is when you have that vision, work from that vision right now towards the goal. And then it's going to be a lot easier for you to accomplish, but you want to feel it and act like that every day. And now usually in my community, I talk about people that want to make 6 figures or 7 figures, and I tell them what to do in those steps. But we're not going to dive into financials right now. But what I'm trying to say is if my goal is to create a 7-figure business, then I need to act, behave, and be that person right now as I'm already earning it right now, because that's the only way I could get to that goal closer. So that's step number one that we talk about, and it's working from your vision. So if you didn't get anything, vision and work from it. That's step number one. Yeah, good.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, perfect. So that's something that lines up in the planner as well, and you can use that. If you don't have a planner, pick one. If you don't want to pick one, then just at least work from those steps. Second one is writing your goals. Most people write their goals as in the future, right? Same thing. Now we're going to go back to the beginning, writing a vision, right? So they go, I want to buy a house. I want to tutor 20 people. I don't know, whatever everybody's doing, right? Whatever their goal is. But they want to do that. They don't believe that they're doing it right now. Big difference. Again, we're working from our vision. So if we're working from our vision, we need to work from our goals as already accomplished. So as I'm tutoring 250 students in my community, and my podcast is the number one download, like you want to live that thing right now. So as you're writing your goal, yes, we know if we put it on the side, it's not accomplished yet. But the goal is to accomplish it. But why not write it as present tense, as you're already there and feel? Because again, it has to line up with your vision. So for you guys that haven't wrote your goals yet for the year, or if you're writing it for your goals, I just to you guys let you know, I'm going to show you an example because it's live. And this is what I do every day. Is I write my goals again and I sign it every day, because it lines me up. It keeps me in that momentum and get excited. And it gets better and it gets better. I'm not changing the goal, but I'm not rewriting it every day. So for you guys that have the goal planner, it gives you the opportunity to rewrite the goal every week.
Yes.
Right. If you have the action planner, it's every 30 days. But if you have the goal planner, it's every week. And don't skip that step, because this is very, very important, that you rewrite your goal as if you already accomplished it. So again, whatever your goal is, if you want to buy a house, if you want to have more tutoring clients, if you want to have a tutoring course, whatever it may be, and I'm just throwing things out, right? Because this is what you guys are doing, is from living from that vision, right? That goal, it's already accomplished. I've already accomplished that goal. I'm already working from that place. Right? Yes. Does it make sense?
Yes, it totally makes sense. And it's so funny because as you're saying that, I have gotten so much more clear by rewriting my goals, just even doing it the once a week. But I noticed that even though I know this, I didn't write my goals from that vantage point. So that clarity is so unbelievable. And I thank you for it. So I was taking a look at 50 tutors are going to hit mission accomplished when they get to that 90 days, they're going to hit mission accomplished. And I need to rewrite that as 50 tutors have hit mission accomplished.
Perfect. I love that. Now I love how you cleared them, but I also want to add one more thing over there. Okay. Instead of saying 50, why not make 100?
Oh, because there's only 50 tutors that are inside of the group right now.
That's right. But is your goal to grow that group?
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's a different goal.
Okay. Perfect. So that's what I'm trying to say is you want to at least double or triple whatever it is that you want. Because it's only a number.
Yep.
It's only a number. Yep. So what's stopping us? So for the people that are listening, we're going to watch it later on. And if their goal was like, I just want to bring 10 people to my community. Well, great. What if you bring in 100? Would that make it worse or better? Better.
Right.
What's stopping you from adding another 0? Nothing.
Right.
It's just the belief that we work from in the past. Right.
Yep,
Does it make
absolutely.
sense? Because it's and then we work from there.
Yeah.
So that was step number 2. Hopefully you can go back there. And that's the great thing is it's like, oh, I messed it up. I have to start from the beginning. No, you didn't mess it up. You didn't start from the beginning. Just keep going from the new direction now.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
It's the same path. It's the same goal. Think about it. It's like if you were driving from San Diego to Vegas and then you take the wrong exit and you drive for 10 miles and then you discover, hey, I was driving the wrong path. That's
Yeah.
okay. But you can reroute and keep going to the same direction. So you miss 10 miles. You're still going to get, so the goal stays. We're just changing the plan to get there.
Right. Exactly.
Perfect. And
I
that's
love
what
this.
that is.
I love it.
Perfect.
And they're normal. Like these kinds of things are normal. Like we always are going to continue to learn and grow as we go. And so you just adapt, change, and make those changes.
You know, I grow every day. I grow from my community. My business community gives me a lot of drive, and that's why I enjoy doing it. And the people that show up and I see the successes, it helps me. And I come up with new things all the time. It's not, I was a year ago, we didn't even have a community. Heck, in March, we didn't even have one. It was just planners. That's it. Planners. You want to buy a planner? We sell planners. That's it. But now we're a coaching company that happens to sell planners. Big difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So clarity comes with action, and we'll talk about that in a second. Third thing is your why. People skip that, but that's the most important step not a most, but I mean, it's very, very important, is that you find your why. Because if you don't know why you want to have 50 people accomplish, or, you know, your goal was whatever that 50 people, then you're not going to reach it because your why is not strong enough. It's not going to help you keep going for the next 90 days. So don't focus on the 1 year or the 5 year or the 10 year. Focus on the next 90 days and find out that why for the next 90 days. Yes, you could have a bigger why for your bigger goal. Like, this is my ultimate, this is what I want to be remembered for. Great. But let's come down to now, and what is our goal and what's the why behind it, right? So for instance, for your goal, what is the why? What's the why that you want to have 50 people?
All right, I wrote it down. So I wrote all of my whys down. I'd have to say, like, I've kind of like just.
And it's okay. I'm not putting you on the spot. It's just like, it's always refining that. It's always refining the why, because that why, when you feel like quitting, when you feel like this is not working, when you feel that, you know what, this is not happening, I'm going to switch the goal, go back to the why. And if the why is strong enough, it's going to keep you going. But if you have a weak why, you're going to switch goals.
You're right. You're right. I think my biggest why, and it's not even the same as the why that I wrote down here, is just because by getting people to reach mission accomplished and seeing that they can do it, then they have that ability to share their story and convince more people that this is something that's possible, and they want to join the community, be a part of what we have. That's
beautiful.
amazing.
So your big why is the impact. You want to create a bigger impact, because as they're accomplished, they're impacting more people, and more people are impacting more people, and then we keep the world as a better place than we found it. But that's what it is. So that's the why. So you're finding that why is very important for every goal that you want to accomplish. And because, like I said, for me, like I told you, my business members, is I want to have more members over there because they can impact more people and I can see them reach their goals. So it's all about impact. It's all about creating impact and helping other people's, because the more we do, the more we help, the more they can help. And then, it's just a whole snowball effect. So
absolutely.
So that's the third thing, is finding your why. Now I'm gonna put over here a number 4 / because there's 6 usually that I talk about. The fourth one is success. So most people, it's not in the planner, but most people want to be successful. Most people want to be successful. And a couple of things that I've added along the way, and we talk about it in our community all the time. I mean, all the time I talk about those 5 things and reaffirm them, because people forget. But it's success. So we look at successful people and we say, I want to be successful like so-and-so. So if I do exactly what he does, I'm going to be successful, right? Wrong. No, it's not going to work for you, right? In my opinion, at least, because you can go online. It's like, oh, if you do those 5 things, you're going to be successful. This is what Warren Buffett does, so you can be successful. This is what Jeff Bezos does, so you can be successful. Great. So I tried that. Didn't work for me. I wake up early. I do this. It doesn't work for me, right? Because that's their success. So first of all, define what success means to you. Again, it's going back to the core and defining what does success mean to me. So if I have 50 people, if I have 300 people in my community, does that mean I'm successful? Great. If it is, then that's your definition of success. Again, they all have to line up with your vision and your goals and your whys and your success. See how everything just ties in together? They all have to line up. They all have to line up, because if you have a different success idea, and this is like my ultimate success, my ultimate goal is to spend more time with my family and my kids, because that's more important to me. So by doing those other tasks is going to get me to be. So once I reach to that point, then I know that I'm successful. Not that I'm not successful right now, but for me, that's the definition of success. Not waking up in the morning reading more books. Yes, that's going to help, but obviously, Because that's, if you go online, most of them are going to say, wake up early, eat more good, healthy, be in a mastermind, do all those things. Great. And I do all of those. But that doesn't mean that I'm still successful. So define what success means to you, because when you define what that means to you, when you get there, okay, great. Now I know I've hit that mark.
And that's so powerful, because I think this is really a big, huge stumbling block for a lot of us as teachers and tutors, because we followed the plan, like that plan that we were raised with of what success is. It's get good grades, go to college, and then, as a teacher, get a job. It might be then get married and have a family, right? And then you get to that point and you realize you followed the plan, and you don't have that success.
That's right.
You feel lost, you feel lonely, and you don't know what's going on. It's because we're following somebody else's idea and vision of what success is.
Exactly. And I don't think I'm wrong, but like I said, I've tried to feel, because I looked at all the posts, CNBC, entrepreneur, blah, 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 everybody, all the same thing. Do those 5 things, do those 10 things, do the things, and that will make you success. That's not true, because if we don't know what success means to us, that it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So define, because if I follow the rules, like you said, schools, marriage, house, I have all those. I don't feel successful.
Mm-hmm.
I just followed the society. That's all I did. I followed what society does and what everybody does, and now I have a mortgage, But that doesn't mean that makes me successful. So, but again, when you look at the bigger picture and start from there, and that for me is very, very important. Okay, so that's number 4, /, because it's usually the one that comes after that is actions. But I wanted to throw that in there, and it's very important. Most people, after you have your vision, you have your goal, you have your why, now they need their goals. The bonus was success, but goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your actions, they stop right there because they don't know what actions to take. They don't know which actions are better. I don't know if this is the right action or that's the wrong actions. And what happens even more than that is when they come up with actions, they come with a question of, well, I don't know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you say, for instance, hey, I don't know, whatever it is, let's say my goal is this year to have 1,000 members in our business community. We currently have about 300. Well, how do I get to 1,000? If I'm already asking that question, I'm stopping there, that's already a problem for me, because I'm not believing that I can actually do that. So most people get stopped there, right? So if your goal is to lose 20 pounds, I'm just saying, it's like, ooh, I don't want to go to the gym. I can't go to the gym. I can't eat healthy. Oh, whatever. I can't reach that goal, because they're focusing on the how, not on actually the doing part of it, right? So for you guys, or for everyone that's listening and going to listen later on, is when you, after you've written your vision, your goal, your why, write down actions, even though you think in your mind something they're not possible. There's another section that I add in here, usually called the story section, and I'll talk about that for a second after that. But when you get to this point, is you need to write down your action. Now, this is where I use this analogy all the time, and it kind of makes sense. If I give my kids a piece of paper and say, draw, I have a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, 12 and 17, but I'm talking about the 2 small ones. Give them a piece of paper and draw, and they just go. They just go. You understand? They don't stop. They just go. They don't even think. They don't ask questions. They just start drawing whatever, circles, squares, whatever. If I give anybody in my community right now a piece of paper and a pen and say, draw, what's the first thing they're going to do? Is like, well, what do you want me to draw?
What do you want me to draw?
Oh, well, you want me to do colors? Should I draw? I just said draw. That's all I said.
Right.
You see the difference?
Yeah.
So you want to think like a 2-year-old. When you write your action, just write everything's possible. That's the difference. When you're young, you don't have any limitations. You don't have any past beliefs that you're working from. You don't have any failures that you're thinking, oh, this was that. I wouldn't do that. All it is a list of things, of actions that you would like to do. Don't worry about how you're going to do them, how they're going to get accomplished. Just write down what it is that you want to do.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Perfect. Because you're right. We do pull in so much of our past beliefs into even just the simple idea of drawing, right? We're like, oh, well, should I draw a person, or should I draw, scenery? Should I just stick with a good old house? Or, we start questioning, what should I draw? How should I draw? What do I know how to draw? We start thinking of, what do I know how to do?
I don't even know how to draw. That's my biggest thing. When my kid comes to me, is like, hey, draw. I was like, oh, I don't know how to draw. And I'm just done right there. Right. So obviously drawing has nothing to do with actions. But what I was trying to say is you do want to think like a 2-year-old. Just write down all the things of the actions that you coming to mind, not even thinking about how you do it. Stop that part of, I don't know if it's going to work. I've tried it in the past. That didn't work for me. All you're doing is you're working from past belief. Understand that right now, this is your future.
Mm.
Anything that you have until right now, until this moment, until an hour ago is already in our past. Has
Yeah.
nothing to do with our future. It's not going to detect the future. Anything that we've done so far, me and you right now, and in the past hour, is no longer in our future. It's in our past. So you can either bring that in here, or you can say, hey, I have opportunity to change and go forward.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love
Perfect.
it.
Perfect.
How about you guys? Does this make sense, you guys?
Yeah, ask him.
What do
I
you
don't know if they
say?
can hear me. So yeah.
Yeah, they could totally hear you. They
Okay.
hear you loud and clear. So we want a thumbs up, something, you guys. Is this sitting with you guys? Do you have any questions yet? Feel free to throw those questions on inside of there as well, because this is really gold, you guys, when it comes to setting our goals. And this entire month, if you're in the Insider Secrets Club, we are going to be focusing on goal setting boot camp. So we are going to really be diving deeper into how to set these effective goals, so that you can begin reaching them, and really getting into that why, and being able to do all this stuff is so pivotal, so that you can be able to reach them.
Look, it's going to take time. A lot of people, it takes time. They don't believe that because, like I said, most of us as adults, we work from past beliefs, from past stories, and I understand that. I get it. I do it all the time. But I'm now a lot better because I know that everything I think I'm gonna create my thought, right? I'm a thinker of my thought. I'm creating my thought. So I always try to come up with new things and stay in that positive mindset and go moving forward and not letting it. So there's positive and negative, and your choice which one you want to go. Mm-hmm. But the same thing with the actions. Don't use like, "Ooh, I can't do that. I've tried it. This is not going to work. Well, I don't know how to do this, and that." Well,
that's exactly what Ramona said.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's like a list of things that you want to do, that you think that will get you. And again, if I knew more specifically what a goal is and of somebody, then I could answer even specific. But for me, it's like, okay, we're trying to grow a membership. Great. We are going to go into membership for 1,000 this year. We already have 1,000 members, right? Mm-hmm. That's in my vision. In reality, we have 300, but that's okay. I'm working and operating like we have 1,000. So I'm adding more coaches. I'm adding more strategies. I'm doing more things in our business community. But when the actions comes like, we're going to try a new strategy. We're going to try this. 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 And then we go back and we try. Didn't work. Great. Okay, let's try this. Mm-hmm. Oh, this didn't work. Okay, what can I learn from this? Most people, and something else I want to talk about, and I think it's important, most people are scared of failure because they look at it as like, oh, I just failed and that didn't work for me, so I'm not going to do it again. Wrong. You need to look at that failure, see what didn't work so you cannot do that part again. Mm-hmm. or learn why that didn't work. Maybe you used it in a different way. Maybe you can try to tweak it a little bit. So I've tried a lot of things. It's not the goal, it's the way you're reaching it. Mm-hmm. Most people look at it and say, well, the goal is too big, can't do it, I'm gonna have to switch the goal. That's not the right way.
Right. And even if you don't reach the goal, like that shouldn't be like that shouldn't be something that stops you then, like in your tracks, and like, well, I didn't reach my goal, and so why bother?
Exactly. And this is something that I do speak about in our community. It's called 1.1%, right? And we work with 90 days increments, right? So if you take that, it's 1.1%, not 1% because it's not 100 days, it's 1.1. And if every day you take one action towards your goal, and look, this could go for hours because I have so much more, and that's why I teach in the community. But if you take at least one action a day, just one action a day, but this is the important thing. It has to be an action towards your goal, not a to-do mm-hmm. list. Most people get stuck right there. They think the longer the to-do list, the more they're accomplished. So I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this. Well, did any of these move your needle towards your goal? If the answer is no, then you just wasted your whole day, mm-hmm. right? So look at your actions towards your goals and make sure you do at least one action every day that's going to move the needle. So it's 1.1% forward. And if you do the math, like the person over there, that's a mathematician over there, I'm sure you can do it. It's 99.9, give or take. If you do 90 times 1.1. And that's all I'm asking for is do 1% a day, less than a 1.1% a day, every day towards 90 days. And you tell me where you're going to get in 90 days.
Yes.
You don't even have to think about the whole 90 days. You don't even, it's just like every day.
What do you guys think? You think you can put in that 1% every day?
Yeah,
I'm
1.1.
curious.
Yeah,
1.1%.
I'm sure they, yeah. But it's very important, like I said, and it's very important to understand the difference between your actions towards your goals and action towards your to-do list.
Yes. Now
Very
I'm
important.
curious because as I was working through this with my own personal goals, I don't know if you designed this on purpose this way and I discovered it, or if it was meant to be used this way. So you've got your 5 goals, and then on each day you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does the action number 1 go with number 1 goal, and the action number 2 go with number 2 goal?
Correct.
So that you
Yes.
stay focused on that.
Yes, it should work that way, where you have 5 goals, 5 actions, right? 1.1%. Now, like we work on 1 goal for 90 days. Okay, a little bit bigger, but I work on a bigger goal. Most people, oh, this is my personal, this is my business, this is my side hustle, whatever. It's fine. However you do it, it's fine. But yes, everything should coordinate to what your goal. So if this your goal is to bring in 1,000 members, then the action should work with that, right? And then align. But yeah, everything should line up like that. But if you're working on 1 goal and say, well, today I have 5 actions, that's fine. Then you have that 1 goal and 5 actions towards that 1 goal. It's okay. But I try to keep it very minimalistic, very simple, not heavy, where at least people think, well, the more I do, the more I get, the more productive I am. Well, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's the less you do, the smarter you work, the more productive you will be. Because the more you in line you will be, you won't burn yourself. So it's just 1.1%. You don't try to win all races in one day. If you follow, I'm a Patriots fan, and if you follow football, every time they lose or win, the coach Bill says, okay, we're on to the next team. Well, they're not worried about what happened right now. They're not worried about the Super Bowl.
Right.
They're worried about the next team next week. That's what they want. That's my focus is for the next team next week. And the reason for that is because they want to be focused on that one thing. The same thing for you. You don't want to worry about the whole 90 steps, the 90 actions for the whole 90 days. You want to worry about the next thing, the next action. Does it make sense? Is that easier too?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think for me, when I did come up with my goals, I made them all goals that really went down to like one big goal. Like it was almost like I broke the goal down into like smaller goals. Like I'm taking a course right now. And so one of my goals was to make sure that I continue to watch the videos from that course. So it was like smaller goals, like by the 90 days, I'm going to finish that course and go through all of that content. So that was like a bigger breakdown of my goals, so they all do align with my business and my overall
exactly. Look, there's so many things out there and everybody's working differently, and it's hard to cater to everybody and really make it work for everybody. It's very hard to do. But the goal is, yes, we all have a bigger goal. Like I said, your bigger mission, what it is that you want to be remembered for. And then you start working smaller increments from there, right? I mean, and just like you did, is everything will eventually line up with that goal. But if you're all leading to that all paths lead to that thing, like in the end. So you did it just perfectly fine. And if somebody else wants to do it a different way, it's still fine. All I want everybody to remember in the end of the day is this. You have a goal. If you take one action in the end of the day towards that goal that lines up with your why and your vision, you'll be just fine. Yeah. That's all. Now, if you have a big goal, you want to break it down and doing chunking, that's what I call chunking. And we talk about it in our business community, and that's chunking. It's a lot to explain right now on that, so we're not going to go into that. But again, in the end of the day, your vision, your why, your goal should line up with your action. Every action, every day, 1.1%, you're going to reach 99.9 in the end of the 90 days. Most people, I got sick this week. I didn't use the planner. What should I do? Should I wait for next year to start again? No. No. You know how many times I get that question? Seriously. I'm not kidding. I didn't use it for 3 days. I didn't use it for 5 days. I was sick. I was on vacation. I was fine. It's 100% fine. Start again.
Yeah, exactly.
Start again. It's not a line in Disneyland that you have to go back to the beginning. No, start again from right there where you are. You're going to go to keep going. That's it. Yep. Write a date, write a date, boom, keep going.
Yep, exactly. I love it. I mean, it's really, and that is actually one of the things, like you had mentioned before, like something that I was looking for in a planner was that it didn't have dates, because I want to be able to pick it up, be able to use it on the first page. I don't want to pick it up and use it in the middle or at the end or somewhere else, wherever it is, right? Like I want to be able to pick it up and be able to use it wherever I am at right now in my life. And so that's what one of the things that I absolutely love about this. And in our community, we've been reading, along with being able to use this, we've been reading The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And I think that's really helped people just understand this whole idea of consistency. And Lisa mentioned, I had trouble with consistency, but I'm turning the tide. She sees the difference in moving the needle just from doing a few things towards my goal each day for the last few weeks.
That's exactly what that is. I mean, and if you can focus on that, obviously you want to, yeah, I mean, that definitely you want to focus on that, moving the needle and everything. And then something else I would say, but you have this community, use each other as support, as accountability. But like we started an accountability partner in our community, that's the one that you part of on, is we want to pair people is use somebody like Lisa will find somebody that could be an accountability that they can talk once a week, chat once a week. Hey, did you accomplish this? Or send each other screenshots of their weekly thing and what it was. And that really helps to stay in focus. Don't forget the support, because the support is big. It's something, again, I talk about in our community is, I want to open my screen over here. We won't share that, but I want to talk about it. It's one of the things is your community. It's huge. It's huge. This is really what made Moodle. When you try to do it all on your own, it's very, very hard. Any team, anybody that's out there has a coach, has a team, has a community that helps them move forward. So your community is your community right there that you're part of. Make sure you guys use each other.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, you guys, are you like feeling like you're listening to another version of me? Because we just started up this new program called the Jumpstart Your Online Tutoring Business Masterclass. And in that class, everybody needed to get an accountability. By week 2, they needed to get an accountability partner. So they chose accountability partners. And now those people that move on to the Insider Secrets Club, those people are going to be part of a group mastermind, in addition to being able to get amazing, awesome stuff. So, the people that they're mentioning that they have awesome accountability partners, Ramona and Lisa. In fact, I jumped in 2 weeks ago. I was on vacation. I was in the Keys, and I just messaged one of my members. I was just like, hey, how are things going? I was thinking about you. Even though I was in the Keys, I was like, I wonder how things are going for her, right? Yeah. And she's like, we're on an accountability call right now. She's like, if you want to surprise people and pop on in. And I was like, I'd love to. So I popped on in and I got to see their accountability partnership. And
and it doesn't have to be complicated. It really doesn't. Yeah. Like we hold each other accountable of year. Like if we have a goal in line, I tell my team, like, hey, make sure when I come up with more ideas, you can tell me stop. We'll focus in on this. And that's the way it should work. So if it's somebody, it's a friend, and it should be somebody that you are working in the same place. It's better if your accountability advisor in your community and not in a different community holding them accountable to this community. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
It should be in the same. It's a lot easier because then everybody's on the same path to success, the same path to reach their goals. Yeah, definitely. You should be part of more communities and more, definitely, but each one should be part of this one place that they belong to. So it's easier to go in the same place. You don't have to jump vehicles, let's call it this way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Which is awesome.
But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much, I mean, this is about 5%, but this is a huge 5% to get going, in my opinion, unless you have any more questions that can tailor to somebody. But this is the whole message. This is what we do. Yeah. This is what we talk about. Now is just going into action and not letting your past stories, your past beliefs dictate how you want your future to look like. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And being able to see that as already have happened and to feel that excitement around what it feels like that it's happened. And that is the most glorious and amazing gift that you guys can give yourselves. Like if you want 10 more students to say, instead of I want 10 more students, I am so excited that I have those 10 students that I have wanted. 20, maybe some people don't see, like, so some of us, we can't,
even if they don't want 20, even if they don't want 20. And I'll tell you why. Usually in my experience, every time I set a goal, I always reach half. So I've changed it. Like every time I've set a goal, I've always reached half. And I think there's something in there. So always double it
off the bat.
Yeah. I mean, Cardone would say do 10x, fine. If you want to 10x it, great. But I would say at least double it, right? That's why we have 90x. Double it, and then see how that impacts you. Yeah, if you want really, really want 10, go for 20, you will get your 10 guaranteed. And then you have to
Perfect.
work
That's
with that
really
fact.
great. That's really great advice. And I think that there's a different energy that goes behind trying to get 20 versus trying to get 10 or trying to get 5 or
Exactly.
trying to fill a couple of spots, right? So Lisa Vecino, I know you only want 2 more students right now. Double it to 4, you'll get your 2.
Yeah, she'll get her 2 guaranteed. Yeah, and she has to follow the steps. Yeah, definitely. That's something that you want to do. And I know I wanted to say something else, but if it slipped my mind, I don't know what it was about. But yeah, I think we give them a lot of material to work from. I mean, it's
Yeah,
really executing
absolutely.
and going now forward.
So I'm curious, like, as you've now watched people with going through the planner, what have some of the things that they have accomplished? What have they accomplished that they didn't think that they could accomplish before?
Yeah, so it's not the planner, and I want to be, because if you have a planner, it doesn't mean you're going to reach your goal. What's going to take from you to reach your goal is you showing up. Okay, so I
Hmm.
want to clarify that because I think it's important. A planner is just another tool to help you, in addition to a mastermind, in addition to a community, in addition to your team, in addition to your message. A planner is just another tool to put your thoughts. But everybody that used the planner and used those other things, they showed up, like I was talking about. I mean, some people reach their goals of like having more coaching clients. I had a person that her goal was to sell her deodorants on Amazon, and she didn't do it for couple of years. It didn't work for her. And through the tools of using the planner and being consistent every day, she was able to do that. I have people that's changed and pivoted the whole business model, that they were thinking that they wanted to do this. And by taking action, they got so clear, they're suddenly doing something else different, like we are.
Yeah.
So everybody reach their goals in some way or form, and even if you don't reach it, it's okay, because you will get clarity. Clarity is
Yes.
more important, in my opinion, because sometimes you think you want this because that's all you see in front of you, and then when you start taking action, suddenly more possibilities, the universe sends more possibilities your way, and you say, actually, this is a lot lighter, this is a lot better, but this is what I wanted. I've had a
Hmm.
client that I've coached for a year. She's a coach in our community, Christy. I've coached her for a year, and every time we did something, I spoke to her now over a year ago. So we started a year ago, and we have not spoken for a while. And when we first spoke, her goals were completely different than what she's doing right now. But guess what? She's so happy right now with what she's doing. But she did that with clarity. So sometimes you have to go through all. It's like figuring out a new road
Hmm.
to New York. You always been
Right.
driving this path, and suddenly you found this path. It's like, why didn't I drive to this scenery this whole time? I didn't even know about it, right? And then you're
Right.
right there. And so that's what it should be about. So don't worry so much about, oh, it has to be like this and it has to be like that. So no, get some clarity. We started adding, for instance, lifetime members to our community. Something that I didn't even think about. But people asked me, I was like, you know what? If I do this, this might help more people, and I can reach this goal, and I can do this, and started doing that. And then it was like, oh, we'll do a welcome banner. Well, like, you know what I mean? So it's just clarity came with action. So that's why I said, don't worry so much about the action and the how, because it will come with clarity. It will come with the more action you take, more clarity will come.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And sometimes you just get ideas from other people that you're like, wow, I could implement that, right? And then you
100%.
start begin like kind of going through. But what I love about being able to use the planner is that you have the ability to say, is this in alignment right now with
Yes.
what my goals are? And that you have that brain dump page. Because I find I've seen this a lot with the tutors. They have a billion amazing ideas
Yes.
and they begin taking action on a whole bunch of different things, and they're scattered, they're all over the place, they don't understand what they should focus on and what they should do. But like you said, the planner allows you to have that clarity. So my biggest advice has been to them, when you have the thoughts that aren't matching up with your goal right now, put it in the brain dump area,
Every
and
week.
tomorrow go back, take a look at it, and say, is this in alignment with what I want to reach? If
Yes.
it is, then add it as an action or add it as part of the plan, right? But if it's not, put it in the this could be my idea for later, keep it there, and then you can always revisit it.
Yes, 100%. And that's exactly what I was. You have the brain dump section. That's something that we added as well. Is to every week you can put all those ideas, then take those ideas and then put them in another sheet where you have infinite brain dump ideas. And then once in a while, go over there and clean them up. Because sometimes then, like I put ideas on my brain dump so many times, And I look at it, I was like, I don't even want to do that. I don't want to do this. I
Right.
don't do that. And sometimes you spend energy on them, and then that's not something that you even when I wanted to do. Right. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why that's so important that you stick to your goal and don't start pivoting around, going to this idea and then that idea. Ideas should be the only thing they should have. You should have your main goal, does it not change. And then as you do more things, more clarity is different actions towards the same goal, not
Hmm.
different actions towards a different goal. That
Right.
should not come. That should not, it will come, but put them on the side. Don't deal with them until you accomplish that one goal or get very close to it. Does it make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
Absolutely. And Jim's wondering, is there any plan for a mobile app with this kind of a planner?
yeah, so a lot of people asked about it. It's probably something that I will do in the future, maybe 2021, but I think it's more going to be towards like taking a snap of your goal and it's giving you reminders and things like that, more motivational stuff and maybe more meditation. That's what I'm
Mm,
thinking about the app when and if we build it. But at this point, we're focused on the goal planner, the action planner, and then the launch planner, which is going to come soon as well. We're working on the details of that one. But at
yeah.
this point, it's something that I want to do. But I, again, like the whole power in the writing for me is so huge. And I think when you sit down and spend, oh, yeah, this is something that I wanted to very, very important. When you're writing your planner, you should not spend more than 5 to 7 minutes a day. It's not a 50, it's not an hour task. It's like five to
Right.
seven minutes. Boom, boom, let's go to work. That's
Yep.
something that I wanted to say, and it's very important because a lot of people spend an hour. I'm like, oh, I don't know, it's so much work. No. It's like it's 5 minutes. Actions, goals, what I want to do.
Yep.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, but what I want to say about the app, and I feel bad because today's word, like I don't have any notifications on my phone at all, besides the ones I want,
Right.
because I believe money always comes to me. So I always have my PayPal and Stripe notifications come in. It keeps me aligned with my vision, right? So like I don't have like that fear of, oh, I'm not going to do this, not going to succeed, whatever. So, and when you go on an app, you get all those notifications, the Facebook thing, the this, the that, the this, the that, and then you like forget why you even got started. So
Mhm.
that was the only thing I wanted to keep it in the thing. So when I do build an app, it's going to be more about meditation, more about motivation, like maybe affirmation things, but less about the writing of the goal and things like that. Because I think it has the power when you write things, has a different power than you type things.
Yeah, and I have found that as well. I've always been a very digital person as an online tutor. You know, my calendar's online and just everything is digital for me, but I have found a lot of power in being able to each week write down what my specific goals are, and sometimes I'm rephrasing them because I feel like they have developed more I fine-tuned them a little bit
Yeah,
deeper.
that's
Um
why. Yeah,
and sometimes they stay exactly the same, and it's a reminder of what I want to be focusing on and what actions I want to be able to take. And I wouldn't have that clarity if I wasn't actually taking pen to paper,
yeah, no, and that's why I
if
do
I were
this. Like
typing
this is
that on.
what I was showing you. This is what I do
Yep.
every day. Every day, I don't write actions. I don't write why because I know already what I want. And I look, but the difference between me and everybody else is I live it and breathe it every day. That's what I
Hmm.
do, right? So sometimes you don't do the same steps, but I teach them. But that's what I do is I write down my goal every day. My vision is really accomplished. My three main goals are lining up all in that page, and I write it every day, every day, every day, every day. I have him on I have him on a sticky right here. So I
Hmm.
put that, my big goal is right here on a sticky and it's in front of me. I have it on one on the dashboard. Everything that I can surround myself with my vision is around me and I live it every day.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. And Elisa mentioned too, she said, it's so easy to get distracted by a great idea that doesn't move you towards your goal. Working on something that doesn't take away from the momentum and can confuse everyone.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with that. Like I have just found so much clarity. And like, you ever feel like when you sit down to work, and it probably doesn't happen for you because you live and breathe this every day, but you're just like, what should I focus on right now? And when
Okay.
I
Oh
get to
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
moment now, I
Huge,
go,
huge,
I,
huge.
I go right on into my planner now because I've already written it down.
This is
Um,
huge. So you said something
yeah.
that triggered really something, and like I said, this conversation could be like 13 chapters, but that's because it's not going to end. That's why I have literally a community for that, so we can talk about it all the time. But it's something that you said, and the first thing that you should do when you sit down and write in your planner is you should ask yourself, okay, this is huge, and if you get this, you will be a lot more productive. You should ask yourself, what is my intention today towards my goal? What is it that I'm going to do
Mm,
today that's going to help me reach my goal? That's the question you should ask yourself. And then you write down the actions,
mhm.
not what I wonder what I have to do today. Because then you're going to feel like, oh, well, whatever comes my way, I'll just deal with it. And here I feel accomplished, right? What is my intention today? My intention today is your interview over here. I have another 1 or 2, and I have a masterclass at 5:00. Those are my 3 intentions towards my goal.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I'm done with this. I'm going home, I mean, but seriously, because that's what my intention is today. Yeah. And when you ask yourself in that way, you have an intention. Tomorrow, I know my intention is to jump on a one-on-one coaching call and a strategy call that I have. And I already have my plan towards because I also have a team, so things are already getting planned out, so I don't have to deal with that. And that's it. I'm done. Mm-hmm. When I accomplish the 2 tasks, and I have another working one-on-one client that I coach, but in-house, that's a different thing. But that's it. So this is the same thing for you. It's like, what is your intention today towards your goal? What is it that you want to do today that's going to help you reach your goal? You already know your goal. You already know your why. You already know. And then you're asking to get the new actions to come in every day. Like I said, you shouldn't focus on the next 90 actions to the way it's 90 days. Every day, ask that question.
That would drive you crazy.
Exactly, because that's what most people try to figure, and that's why they quit, right? If I had to go and lose 20 pounds and I have to think about my 50 workouts that I'm going to end up doing in the next 2 months, I'm going to quit before I even begin. But I'm going to focus on one workout every day, every spinning class or that class or whatever class every day. But I'm not going to focus about, 2 months, I need to have the whole plan in front of me. Most people, right? I need to have the whole plan. No, you don't. Right. You don't need to have the whole plan, because that plan is going to change 100 times by the time you reach the goal.
Right. So that's just a waste of time.
100%.
No, I have always been, I'm going to tell you, I've been one of those people. I buy a planner, I write in it for a few days, and then it sits on my desk and my table. That has not been the case as soon as I picked up the 90X goal planner, because I approached this one different. And what I did instead is I said that when I end my day for working, this will be the last thing that I touch. And when I start my day for working, it's going to be the first thing that I touch. And that, just making that small goal, that small intention to improve my habit of being able to use a planner to be more specific with my goals and to reach those goals, has really helped me with being able to reach the goals I want to be able to reach.
100%. So this is the thing you did. It's a habit. And in this planner, there's also a habit tracker that will help you create new habits for the next 90 days, right, in the planner. But you did a commitment with yourself. Your commitment was, I'm going to do this in the morning, I'm going to do this in the evening. And most people don't do a commitment with themselves, right? They'll do a commitment with other people, which they will not break. But when they do one with themselves, they'll break it all the time. And that's what's called a commitment. You're honoring your commitment with yourself, which is more important than honoring a commitment with somebody else. The reason is because if you can't honor a commitment with yourself, you definitely cannot honor somebody else's commitment. So that's what you did. And if you can, and anybody over there says, you know what, I'm going to give myself the opportunity to fail for the next 90 days. It's something else that I go to all the time, but we're not going to touch a lot on that. But the worst case scenario is I'm not going to reach my goal, or I'm not going to do this, and that. I'm not, again, it's a different conversation for another hour. But what is your commitment for the next 90 days? Your commitment was, I want to reach this goal. I'm going to do this in the morning and the evening. And that's why you have been picking it up. You reached out to us. You're part of our commitment. I mean, you've done so many other things you didn't notice that aligned you with that planner.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it was one of the best decisions. I actually heard you on a podcast chatting with another person, and all of a sudden it was like, this sounds like a really good tool. And I'm not even a planner person, but the way that this is set out seems like it is in alignment with how I want to be able to move my business forward. And as soon as I started diving deeper into it, I'm like, okay, this needs to be a tool for our community, because this is where people get stuck. People get stuck in, they want to have a strategy for being able to reach their goal, but they don't know how to actually reach the goal. And this allows them to map something out that's not cookie cutter.
Yes.
It allows them to decide for themselves, when it comes to the content piece, do I want to be able to create content that is, a podcast or blog, or do I want to, open up a Facebook group or community? Like, it allows you to be able to pick and choose the pieces that work and fit with who you are and are in alignment with who you are. And then it allows you to be able to follow through on that by having the daily action steps and all of that. So,
well, yeah. Awesome. And the 2 things that came up, and I wanted to ask you that, how would you feel right now if I take the planner away from you? You no longer have the planner.
I would not be a happy camper.
because you were able, most people need to give the opportunity. You need to get the form of creating a habit. It takes about 66 to 67 days NLP to form a habit. I believe it's a lot sooner. Sometimes it's a lot longer. It depends on what habit you're trying to create or break. But usually it's an average of between 21 days to 266 days, give or take. And when you do it consistently, because it's like I said, the compound, it's consistently doing the same thing over and over and over again, it becomes a habit, a good habit that you want. But it started with the commitment with you. And everything that we do has to be a commitment.
And it came on vacation with me. So I just went to the Keys and it came with me. So even though I had no clients scheduled at all or any work actually scheduled, it didn't mean I wasn't working on little things that actually helped me reach my goal little bit by little bit. I just had less that I was writing down in the planner every day. But it didn't mean that I completely gave it on up. Now I could have chosen to, but I chose to still take a couple of actions every day, even though there were smaller actions than normal.
100%, 1.1%. I didn't say measure the action by the size of it. I said that every action you take, small or big, it's 1.1%.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
And that's what it is. So even if you took the action and said, great, I'm going to plan my next month. I'm going to write a couple of things. I'm going to go write a couple of notes. Great. You're staying in that momentum. You're just putting the foot away from the gas a little bit, but you're in that momentum.
Yeah. And that's kind of cool. Like people can pick and choose the aspects of the planner that they even want to be able to utilize. They don't have to use every single bit and piece of it. The pieces are there because of suggestions that other people have kind of given their input into it. And that's where the whole design came from. So
yes.
I want you guys to know that you can get 15% off. I'm going to give you guys a link right now. It's inside of the chat, but I'm also going to put it inside of the description for any of those that are listening to this after the live call. There's going to be a link inside of there as well if you are looking to be able to get your own copy of the planner. And this is the go-to planner that we utilize, you guys, inside of our community. So if like before when ALoN was mentioning, like to kind of go through the same steps with other people that are kind of going through those steps, it helps you to be able to reach your goals a lot easier. And so when people are able to talk about their process of going through the 90X planner, because they're going through the same kinds of steps that we're going through, it makes it easier as a community for us to all be able to support each other with that. So this does get to be a choice for you if you want to be able to utilize it. However, I highly suggest that everybody get their very own copy of being able to utilize this.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. And like I said, you can mention to them where our community is if they wanted to add something up for their business, the membership group that we have. That's another place to be at if you wanted to. But yeah, you can share that link. And if they need any more support, you can let me know, reach out to me, find me. I'm on Instagram or Facebook. I'm always around somewhere.
Yes, you are. And you're very personable. So I appreciate that. It's been awesome being able to get to know you, follow you, listen to you, and get to see somebody else who's living big dreams and achieving them. It's really, really cool. We have very similar paths, and nothing is more inspiring when somebody's on a similar path as you to see somebody else getting success like you are and continuing to build on that dream and get those things. So I am wishing you in 2020 the most amazing year with 1,000 people. I'm so grateful you have right now 1,000 people in your community. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, me too. We're already thinking about 2021 where we need 3,000, but yes.
I love it. So you're already on the next step, but I'm so grateful that there are people like you that have these amazing goals, dreams, and visions. And Suzanne Davis also said, thank you so much, ALoN, for taking the time to just share the whole entire goal setting process. And really those 5 steps are going to be really pivotal for a lot of people for reaching the goals that they want to be able to reach.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it for having me.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. And thanks again, ALoN.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.